Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today I'll be doing the next part of the Sukhmani Sahib translation from Gurumukhi to English, and we're just going to be talking about a few things about what Guru Arjan Dev Ji is saying. So just carrying on from the second part of this, and it comes with, so it starts with Prab Ka Simran Rid Siddh Nau Nid, which means in the remembrance of God you attain wealth, miraculous spiritual powers, and the 9 treasures. So this is a very deep path. It's about connecting your spirit with the Akal Purkh, really, with God, and getting onto this spiritual journey, which is basically like a martial artist who, like, in one sense, I suppose, starts off with the lower belts and then keeps going up and gets the higher belts and the higher belts, and then it goes into Dan. As he passes them, goes higher and higher and becomes more and more of a master. Well, obviously he's got to do a lot of hard work and training for it. But that's mainly all physical. This is all spiritual. It's reaching high states of existence, high spiritual states, through doing Naam Simran, through doing Waheguru Simran on a regular basis, and connecting with Waheguru, connecting with Guru Nanak Dev Ji, connecting with Guru Granth Sahib Ji spiritually, or a picture. You can have a picture of them and then you can connect and you can focus on the picture, but best done in the Gurdwara, really, in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So these are ways of connecting, and through a lot of hard work, through a lot of Simran, through a lot of spiritual, if you like, penance, or what you want to call it, a lot of spiritual kamai, you start attaining basically wealth, and it says miraculous spiritual powers. So what are these miraculous spiritual powers that Maharaji is talking about? These are all connected with your thought process. For example, and there are many out there. There are many that have been created. I don't know if many people talk about these, or even the Gurdwara these are mentioned. We're just talking about what the translations are. But if you look into it deeply, miraculous powers are the kind of powers that Jesus had. Are the kind of powers that our gurus had. Satgun Mera Marjwala, he had the power to bring you back to life, or destroy you or kill you. Mar Jivala means he can kill you or he can bring you back to life from death. These kinds of powers and abilities, these are spiritual, miraculous spiritual powers. Since our gurus have them, Jesus has them, Waheguru has them. So what is Guru Arjan Dev Ji trying to do? He's saying that if you do this Naam Simran and connect with it deeply, then at some point these will come to you and be part of you, and it will just be for you to think of something for it to happen. It'll be done. It just gets done. You just have to think of someone or think of something that you want this done, or you wouldn't mind having this, and then it just gets brought to you. It gets, Waheguru just sends it to you. So this is what Guru Sahib Ji is talking about. He's talking about these kinds of miraculous, and there are many other powers that can do many other things, that are beyond the human. You wouldn't be able to believe it if it gets mentioned and someone tells you. But it's only when you experience them through this Naam Simran, when they come to you, that you are able to, you become a man of spiritual or personal spiritual, high spiritual authority. This is what Naam Simran does. Apparently, this is what Maharaji is saying here, that if you do this Naam Simran, Waheguru, this is also something that comes. And then he's talking about 9 treasures. I don't know what these 9 treasures are, but yeah. So this is what Naam Simran is able to do for those who. This is what Guru Sahib wants us to do, to be able to attain these, do this kind of Simran, that we, that's what the Sikh is. The Sikh is like a Jesus Christ, if you, or like a guru, when you start getting these attainments. So this is what Maharaj is saying here. Prabhu ka simran gyan dhyan tat bodh. In the remembrance of God are knowledge, meditation, and the essence of wisdom. So in the remembrance of God are knowledge and meditation. So remembrance of God, you start attaining meditative skills and abilities. You start to meditate and experience what meditation is. You start attaining divine knowledge, and also because everything's in this Naam, it's all in there. It's like a package. When you start doing this Naam Simran and Seva, this as well, I think in the Gurdwara, it's a package. There is divine knowledge in these two things, like in Simran, when you start Waheguru Waheguru, when you start, because this divine knowledge is in God, you're connecting with God, and you're connecting with this Simran, so divine knowledge is coming to you. Then you go to the Gurdwara and you're doing Seva, ote oi Guru di Seva ote, and the energy in the Seva, that energy, there's knowledge in that's divine knowledge in that energy as well. So this is what Maharaj is talking about, and as this essence of wisdom. Prabh ka Simran jap tap puja. So in the remembrance of God are chanting, intense meditation, and devotional worship. So this is again what Maharaj is talking about, this chanting, this intense meditation to see. So this is intense meditation. You do that in the Sadhu Sangat in the Gurdwara, Ujjete Vaheguru, Sare Baith Ke Karde, everyone sitting there and doing Vaheguru. That's intense meditation. That's if you got 10 people or 100 people sitting there doing it, then you are, collecting, you are attaining a lot more blessings and a lot more energy than you just sitting at home and doing it. So this is intense meditation and devotional worship. So this also is part of it. Prabh ka Simran bin said duja. In the remembrance of God, duality is removed. So this is a duality. I can't remember. Like there's like this, that I am. There's a duality in the entire life, like in everything. Like I am man, you are a woman, or I am black and you are white. There's all kinds of differences, like dualities out there that people go by and think them superior or inferior based on this duality. So what's Guru Sahib is trying to say here, that this duality is removed because you realize one thing, that you're a spirit in a body that is living a life. So everybody is a spirit in a body, but everyone has different bodies, just as we are wearing different clothes, but we are all wearing clothes. So we are all the same in that way. So there is no duality in that thought. This is where Maharaji is trying to get us to understand and believe this. So this duality is removed. You start doing the Simran, automatically you start seeing everybody and everything as one. Prabh ka Simran Tirat Ishanani. In the remembrance of God are purifying baths at sacred shrines of pilgrimage. I'm going to do this last one and stop here because that's quite a lot of information. In the remembrance of God are purifying baths at sacred shrines of pilgrimage. So this is to say that a person who goes to a place of worship where there's pilgrimages, and go to the Golden Temple, for example, and you get bathed there, it's the same thing as doing Naam Simran at home. This is saying, that if you do the Naam Simran, because or go do that, it says in the remembrance of God are purifying baths at sacred shrines of pilgrimage. So your spirit in this Naam Simran, when you go deep into it, your spirit is being purified. It's like going to inside is going to a bath of purification and a sacred shrine of pilgrimage. That's what your spirit is experiencing in this through this Nam meditation. It's having the same kind of experience as one person would go to the Golden Temple and just bathe himself without doing any simran. They just bathe themselves and get that purity. So if you do Nam simran, you get the same thing. This is what this is saying. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there. It's been 10 minutes. I'll see you next time. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.